Hello guys, how are you all? I hope you people are happy and healthy. So if you don't know me, I'm Jayashree. I'm a first year student at IIM Raipur, and those who know me, so for that they are welcome back to my channel. And I'm making this video specifically for GDPI process, like those people who have given CAT this year and now is the GDPI session. So I've been getting few requests on LinkedIn as well as on YouTube comments for the same. So I thought let's make a video on this. So generic things would be there, but what I'm planning to do in this video is that I'll be categorizing everything that you should be knowing about GDPI in 4 to 5 sections. Okay, so that you know everything you should be knowing, for especially for people who are new to the field or don't have friends in MBA colleges or are from like diverse fields apart from MBA and engineering as such. So this video would be helpful for particularly those. Okay, so let's start with it. So first things first and foremost thing you should be knowing for the GDPI is your introduction. So by introduction I mean you need to have 2-3 versions of your introduction, like for 30 seconds, for 1 minute. Now you should also be a little prepared on your family background and everything. The interviewer can ask you about that. Second thing, which stems from the introduction itself, is that you should be knowing about the place you belong to. Just a second. By this I mean that if you belong to a particular state or city, you should be knowing the geographical factors for it. For example, I was asked in my Rohtak interview that what are the rivers flowing through your state. So you should be aware of these facts. You should be aware of the fact that what is that your place or your city is known for. So, or the famous people or famous leaders or CEOs from your place. For example, I was asked how many seats does your state have in the legislative assembly. So these are the few questions you should be aware of, at least of the state where you are living in, where you belong to. Okay, apart from this, in the current affairs part only, you should also be aware of the general things happening around current affairs, plus more on the business lines. For example, if there has been any merger or acquisitions currently, or maybe some CEO's news is going around, you should be also be aware of a few leaders. Like you can be asked who is your role model, so you need to know about few people whom you admire or anything like that. So you need to be aware of those points also. Guys, please start reading newspaper if you don't, because for instance, one of my interview I was asked, do you read newspaper? So I said yes. So then they asked which newspaper, then I said Economic Times. So they directly asked me that what was the 2 headlines you remember from today's paper. And interview was just at 11 a.m or something like that, and then still they asked me. So they'll actually know that you're lying or not. So be prepared on those lines as well, right? Apart from this is done, yes, academics. So if you are a fresher, be very well prepared on the CATS part, like whatever you have studied in undergraduate or what were your subjects. Also for work ex people, I understand, like people with 2 or more years of work ex, you would have forgotten what all subjects you have studied your undergrad, but then you need to remember those, because subjects at least. And for freshers it's compulsory. Please be very well versed with your subjects and everything, right? The fourth thing that I want you guys to focus on is a particular domain, especially for freshers. Like you could be asked which domain you are interested in. Now there's always this generic answer, right, that we'll learn first and then we'll explore and then we'll decide what domain to go into, and that is absolutely fine. But then you could be asked like, okay, you'll research afterwards, but then whatever you have in your mind now, you could be asked to tell them that. So you need to have a particular domain in mind which you want to pursue, for instance marketing, but then you also need to have some basic knowledge on that domain. So this shows that you're really interested in MBA, right? And a particular domain, you are passionate about it. And I forgot to mention, please in your intro also prepare a question why MBA, like those HR questions, why MBA, your strength, weakness, intro and everything. You, that is very basic, so I did not mention that, but yes, why MBA should be a solid answer, right? And in this, yes, domain specific. For instance, if you say marketing, so you should be at least well versed with some terms like 7 P's of marketing or 4 C's of marketing, or what is STP. Like these are the basic terms. So whatever domain you say, you need to be aware of some basic terms, and please, please, please keep one domain in mind, because they might push you to tell a name, right? So yes. And SOPs and everything, you would be required to write SOPs for a few colleges. Then some colleges already express their expectations, like what they want you to put in the SOP, right? For those colleges, just follow the guidelines and everything. But for colleges who don't mention what they want, so for them you need to have a structured SOP for yourself, which clearly at least mentions a strong reason for you doing an MBA. It should not look like you're doing an MBA just because of the placements or packages, right? So there should be any link between your past experience or graduation or work and your MBA. There should be a link. It should be like a story. It should not look abstract, right? And the last but the most important thing, like this is the most important thing, because even if you do all the 4 steps right, you don't do this, you might lose that seat. So the last step is the ability to communicate properly. Believe me guys, when I say communication is important, I have seen people losing the seat just because they were not able to convey what they knew or what they wanted to. They had very good knowledge, very good skills, everything was great, but just because they could not communicate it to the interview, they have lost that seat. So the thing is, at this point of time, after the cat is done, after the results are out, getting a shortlist or not is not in your hand. What's in your hand is that you convert your best call. So if you have, I have lost on opportunities which would have taken me to places. So from that experience, I'm saying that please try to convert your best call, and for that you actually need to work on this. Only 2 things are required: your knowledge and your communication. Knowledge is something you would be already preparing on, right? Please try to make your communication effective. And how can you do so? See, communication is something which cannot be taught, you need to practice it. There is the place where mock interviews and coaching comes into play, right? If you have your friends preparing for the same, you can have a group discussion or mock discussion or so. Otherwise, I recommend you join a coaching wherein you can get some experience of how the interviews go on. And this is especially for freshers. Work people would already be knowing it, so there's nothing much to it. But yes, also one thing which I have learned from my experience is that you need to be confident and humble at the same time. What happens is, these people who take your interview are all senior people, like professors who have studied so much and are aged between mostly 40 to 50, right, in this range. And these people, if they feel that you are being a little rude or overconfident, they'll immediately like cancel you off. They won't even see whether you have knowledge or not. Their first criteria is your behavior, your attitude, your humbleness. But at the same time, they want people who are confident too. So I was saying that you need to know how to be humble and confident at the same time. So yes, this was all that I wanted to tell you about GDPI. And guys, so if you have any doubt and you think that I could be of help, so please feel free to comment down there or even connect with me on LinkedIn.